Today, I would like us to talk about ethical leadership because I believe that the world is in the state it is in right now because of lack of ethical leadership. Coming up, ethical leadership is the practice of leading with integrity, honesty, and respect for other people. And one leader who has demonstrated that in our time is Judge Mogoeng Mogoeng. Oh man, how I wish that our political spheres should embrace this man and give him a chance. And believe me, in the political and the corporate sphere, we need ethical leaders. Leaders like Judge Mogoeng Mogoeng, who under any circumstances will never compromise their integrity. Check this out.
If there ever was the time to embrace ethical leadership and stop spinning, stop manipulating, stop relying on our supporters or sympathizers to do wrong, knowing that our wrongdoing would be covered up in some way, that time is now. Ethical leadership leaves no room for corruption. Ethical leadership leaves no room for the manipulation of politicians by the corporate world, allowing funding of political campaigns to influence how you govern your people, allowing funding of political campaigns by the business community to dictate whether you are going to shirk your key responsibilities or give practical expression to the constitutional aspirations of your people, is the corruption that comes into being that is facilitated by the absence of ethical leadership. And that explains why ethical leadership really isn't an option, but a national imperative. Because when you are a leader, you have it within yourself, you have the authority to influence those that you lead. And it is what you do that largely determines what those who follow you are likely to do.
Believe me, any country in the whole world need a guy like this one, Judge Mogoeng Mogoeng. Any country, anywhere in the world, we need these kind of leaders.
You spoke last week about an approach, maybe even an offer of 600 million rand, which you turned down. What details can you give us around that?
I think it's enough to say I wasn't approached directly. There was a middle person that I respect highly, that I believe was coming to me innocently, and that's what makes it a bit challenging for me to disclose the details. It's enough to say it was an American billionaire who made an offer through a particular structure.
And what was the offer?
To modernize the courts. The offer as it was conveyed to me was, we've heard you say you do take 600 million rands to modernize the courts. We're willing to give you whatever amount we want. We won't be involved in whatever tender processes are to be embarked upon. You deal with the money as you please.
Somebody listening to that would say, that sounds like philanthropy, that sounds like benevolence.
Sure.
Why would you see it as capture? Because you said that's how capture begins and that's why you turned it down.
Why don't they go to the state, to Treasury, and give money there? Why should I be approached directly? Why should it even be a secret approach? It should be out in the open. They know structures that release money to us. That's where they must go. But if you come straight to me, it becomes very suspicious.
How I wish our political sphere in South Africa should give guys like this one a chance and watch our country, South Africa, changes for the best. Let us look at some elements that defines, just a couple of them, elements that defines ethical leadership. Number one, honesty. Now, honesty makes ethical leaders worthy of trust that others put on them. You cannot just talk the talk, but at some point, you must walk the walk. Do you do what you have promised to do? Honesty. And it's amazing how that speaks to the number two, my next point, number two, which is integrity. Integrity is demonstrated when values, words, and action, values, words, and actions are aligned and consistent. If no is no, it doesn't matter how much money you are being given. No will still be no. And people trust men of integrity. People follow men of integrity. People are inspired by men of integrity. Number three, justice. Now, justice means treating everyone equally and offering equal opportunities with no favoritism. Of course, condemning improper behaviors and manipulations. That's justice. Number four, responsibility or taking responsibility. Current leaders, or whether in the politics or corporately, love power. They love to be men of power, but totally irresponsible of what power comes with. And a sense of responsibility means embracing power and the duties that come with it. Very important to understand as a leader. Number five, transparency. Transparency. That is so important. In other words, when you say you have spent 10 million in building those houses, was it really 10 million that you spent? That's why in my understanding of transparency goes hand in hand with honesty and integrity. They all belong together. Transparency simply means disclosing information that other people need for them to do their work, or disclosing honest information that others need for them to be able to do their work, and being honest about it. That's transparency. Transparency is the practice of keeping your subordinates or the people that you are responsible for informed of information that pertains to them, whether is good or bad, telling them the truth, sharing the information, whether is good or bad. That, my friend, is transparency. And as an ethical leader, you need transparency. Let me hear your comment below, and please don't forget to subscribe